Yeah, interesting one, because unfortunately for Chris, and I like Chris, we had a bit of beef going back and forth. We were just in the same weight class, That's how it is. Now I'm retired. I like to think I'm pretty friendly with most people. But he's struggling to get the wins these days, And the reality is, and I hope he proves me wrong, the reality is that, unfortunately, time catches up with us all. And sometimes you got to call it a day. Now, I'm not saying he needs to call it a day. He went up to light heavyweight and he went up against Dominic Reyes, knockout artist, big guy, big light heavyweight, knocks out a lot of people, big power. So no shame whatsoever. He's definitely got a wrestling advantage over Uriah Hall all day. If he goes out there and wrestles and he can get the takedown, I can see Chris Weidman beating him pretty soundly. If it stays on the feet, it's a much more competitive fight, and I'd lean towards Uriah Hall. But you know what? No, I'm going to give Chris Weidman the advantage here. The wrestling, it's so powerful, such a great tool to have in your back pocket. And I think Chris, after having some of the troubles that he's had recently, he's going to look to play it safe, so to speak, use his wrestling and use that kind of fight. And if he does that, I see Chris Weidman winning.
I can't pick this one. This one's one of those. I like both of these guys way too much. It's one of those fights where unless I'm on the hot seat and I'm getting paid, then I'll make a pick. But it's like I gotta get paid to deal with the backlash, because one of them is gonna be like, "Oh, Mike, what the heck?" So it's like can't pick against both. I think the world of both guys. I mean, dude, Chris Weidman, Sarah Longo dudes are awesome. I actually saw Matt today, and then Uriah's my boy. But that's gonna be a good fight. The rematch from the Ring of Combat fight, 12 years ago or something like that.
Weidman, just because the wrestling, I think he's going back to his basics, his roots. His last couple of fights, he's been more wrestling, like heavy. I think that's how he wins this fight.
They have fought in Ring of Combat, but I fought for Ring of Combat, but that was years ago. Hall's coming off the win over Anderson.
One I did get right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'll say Hall on this one. I mean, I think Weidman won the first one.
Yeah.
So then I'll definitely take Hall on this one. I think he's in his recent fights he has looked better than Weidman.
I think Uriah Hall on that one.
If Chris Weidman can get his hands on him and wrestle fuck him to death, it's definitely gonna be Chris's fight. But if Chris tries to stand there and bang and let Uriah get all tricky with him, boy, you know how he comes. And with a rematch, he don't have that extra umph behind it. So keep your hands up. Let's see what it is.
I like Uriah Hall on this one.
I think Uriah Hall gets his win back. I think he gets it back.
I give slight advantage to, I think, Uriah. He's just his striking is a little bit, I think, crisper, and he looked really good like last fight. He can take a punch too. I would give slight advantage to Uriah.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go with Uriah Hall on that one. I mean, it's just I hate when people say like, "Oh, that guy's chin's gone," because I don't really believe in that kind of thing. But I just think it's different motivations at different stages of life right now. Chris Weidman had the ups in his career as far as like being the middleweight champion and that kind of thing. And since losing that title, he kind of struggled to kind of find that success again. Where a guy like Uriah Hall hasn't had that taste of success yet when it comes to being a middleweight champion. So he still has that hunger, he still has that desire, and I feel like he might be able to get the win over Weidman in that fight.
Ooh, another good one. I like Uriah Hall in that fight. I think stoppage. He's one of those guys. He's very technical with his striking. He's got a little bit of flair to him. He's very similar to like an Adesanya kind of guy. Not quite on the same level, but definitely up there and on the way to being on the same level.
I'll go Uriah. Obviously, I pick him regardless. Anyways, we train together. He's a good friend of mine. I like him a lot, and I also think he's like one of the most dangerous guys out there. So
I gotta go with my boy Uriah. Man, I remember Uriah fought Weidman back in the day. That's when we were teammates still, and he was training for that fight. And I remember, I knew he wanted it back for so long. Now he's getting a chance to get it back. So I'm going with my boy Uriah.
With that original flow, head kicks with the pros, picks of the fights or anything in the mix. Getting closer to the heart of the flame, bringing conversations with heavy hitting names. You feel the love of the